Hello and welcome to Part 4 of the Dental Expert Advisory Series. My name is Ken Harlan with Ozarks Capital Funding, and today I have as my guest a veteran dental consultant, Donna Sceviour of Sceviour on Dentistry. Donna, how are you doing today?
Hey Ken, it's great to have the opportunity to meet with you and everybody out there.
Well, let's start, Donna, by telling us about some of the background you have in the dental industry.
Okay, great question, Ken. I started off as a dental hygienist in 1982 and loved it. I think dentistry is the most exciting and rewarding careers, and my career evolved and morphed, and I pretty much worked with some pretty amazing dentists who mentored me and my practice skills, and they all participated actively in advancing my dental knowledge and education. I went everything from practice management to hygiene to almost anything in the dental spectrum that the doctors were interested in, and really sparked my interest to keep pursuing my education. And that's how I got involved with the process of building and managing practices and getting people to love what they do. I see too many people burnt out in their careers, so it was a nice start for me. That evolved in pretty much now to what I do, practice management and practice management consulting. Also do some new business development. I've been published in Contemporary Oral Hygiene, real estate acquisitions and sales for dental practices, team building, obviously dental consulting, and speak nationally. And actually, my first time of speaking in out of the country was the Mexican Riviera, which was quite nice. But people, I really want to inspire people to love what they do, and I say my tagline is working on your practice while working in your practice.
Well, you sound like you've really been in the trenches then.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly think until someone can appreciate both sides of the chair, that's the missing link in a lot of practice management consultants, and I'm sure people who are skilled MBAs have a lot to add to the piece, and I usually, in some instances I involve them. However, there's the challenge unless you've really done the day-to-day aspects of what it takes to produce dentistry, deliver quality, comprehensive dental care to your patients, and to take care of each other, the team and the doctor. I think you have to experience it before you can really speak to how to actively get people to move in the right direction and motivate team and staff and produce a revenue.
You touched on something there in your answer about acquiring new business. And of course many dentists today are struggling with that, acquiring new patients. Aside from traditional advertising such as yellow pages and direct mail, what methods might you suggest to increase patient count? And also, how often should you track your marketing plan and evaluate its effectiveness?
Excellent. And I like your last question, Ken, track it and how often. You should never, ever, ever implement any dental marketing plan unless you're going to track it. If you don't know how well, if it's working or not working, or well received or not well received, or producing a return on your investment, then you really shouldn't be ready to implement that in your practice. There's several things, so we'll start modernistic. And one of it is obviously maximizing your digital exposure. And I found out one piece that many practices don't do is increase their search engine capabilities with their web hosting company who hosts their website. I've been in some practices, one of the first things I'll do is actually Google them before I get there to see where they came up. And in one practice particular in Natick, Massachusetts, which was kind of ironic, a periodontist who had passed away had come up first before their name when I Googled periodontal treatment in the Natick, Massachusetts area. So it is imperative that if you're going to utilize technology, that you monitor it and use it to its full capabilities. That being said, I know there's a lot being done with Twitter and Facebook, and I have to say, the jury's out on that one with me. I've actually seen 50%. I've seen 50%, participate in some new patient revenue, but I've also seen 50% not work well and not work professionally. So that's one I don't think has been perfected yet, and I would advise the novice in that field to really tread lightly before they implement Facebook and Twitter until they really master it, know its limitations and its vulnerabilities. Then I always say with practices, do what's old school, what works. If you're a general practice, having hygienists do oral health programs in school systems, working with the school nurses, working with the community, getting out that meeting and greeting and telling people what a great practice and opportunities there are, that works amazingly well. And I've worked with a couple practices who've actually increased their new patient pool by about 15 new patients a month by just implementing that alone. Sometimes it's just getting out there and meet and greet. Another good one is healthcast programs for local and cable TV. Many local cable companies are really struggling for good content. So I always recommend approach them and share some of the latest techniques or advances that a doctor and his team particularly do in their practice that differentiates them from anyone else, and how they can educate the community on oral health. A lot of times these can be done for little cost to no cost, and the ROI is trackable and very worthy.
Are you a dentist in need of financing to acquire a new practice or new equipment? Do you need funds for remodeling or to expand your practice? Check out dentalpracticecash.com for the only financing source you will ever need. That's dentalpracticecash.com.